Prepare to have your mind absolutely blown away. I didn't know this was coming, wasn't expecting this. Listening to the All In podcast, not quite the same today without the new AI czar, David Sachs. Shout out to David, well done, mate. But out of absolutely nowhere, a bombshell, a massive AI breakthrough led by Elon Musk with massive implications for Tesla, for autonomy, for the humanoid robot, and XAI. A couple of minutes into this segment, absolute bombshell. I thought, man, I'm going to rewind and record this because Tesla investors absolutely need to know this. Has massive implications. Gets a little bit technical early on, but stick with me the first few minutes. If you own Tesla stock or you're thinking about owning Tesla stock, you need to understand this.
Computer being built by a friend of the pod.
About AI with Gavin and
I think that would be like a great next place to go would be to talk about the supercomputer being built by a friend of the pod, Elon. He's now got the world's largest supercomputer, and he's going to test.
So just taking a quick moment there. It's not Microsoft. It's not Google with the world's largest supercomputer for AI. No. It's not OpenAI, or more accurately known as closed AI. It's Elon Musk's XAI. A company that didn't even exist 2 years ago now has the world's biggest AI supercomputer. But wait, there's more. Yep, that's right. We can see on screen now. XAI, led by Elon Musk, intending to literally 10x their AI supercomputer, which is already the world's largest. Holy shit. But boy, we are just getting started.
According to reports.
Yeah. And I would just say this is, I think, a very important moment for AI, for this entire AI trade in public and private markets. Everybody, I'm sure, who watches your podcast is very aware of scaling laws. And we have not had a scaling laws for training, or if you 10x the amount of compute used to train a model, you significantly improve the intelligence and capability of that model. And often there are these, kind of emergent properties that emerge alongside that higher IQ.
So just an example of an emergent property that would be relevant to everyone watching, except maybe any Tesla short sellers. Consciousness is an emergent property. When you connect enough neurons, and please, if you're a neuroscientist, don't get too mad here. Simple explanation. A single neuron probably ain't conscious. 100, probably not. 1,000, probably not. But with enough, suddenly, collection of individual components that themselves don't have the property of consciousness give rise to the very thing we're talking about, consciousness. It's an emergent property, a capability from a wider system whose individual components don't have that ability themselves.
No one thought it was possible to make more than 25,000, maybe 30,000, 32,000, pick a number, NVIDIA hoppers coherent. And what coherent means is in a training cluster that each GPU, to kind of simplify it, knows what every other GPU is thinking. So every GPU in that 30,000 cluster knows what the other 29,999 are thinking. And you need a lot of networking to make that happen.
Enabled by InfiniBand, right?
InfiniBand, and I think even more importantly, NVLink. Although a lot of Ethernet is, never bet against the internet, never bet against Ethernet. Like if you read the Llama 3.1 technical paper, got a lot of people excited about skinny link Ethernet. But
just to slow down for the audience here, Gavin, maybe explain why transporting information between the GPUs is important. And we're in the weeds here a little bit. Everybody's heard of Ethernet, but some of the other protocols and ways of moving stuff around, large amounts of data. That's what these H200s, H100s do particularly well. They'll move a couple of terabytes a second from one processor to the next processor.
So as Jason points out, they are in their weeds, but stick with me, folks. The entire reason I started recording this video is just around the corner. Again, massive implications for Tesla investors.
Yeah. So, picture a server. In the case of a GPU, it looks like maybe 3 pizza boxes stacked on top of each other, and it has 8 GPUs together. And those 8 GPUs are connected today with something called NVLink. Broadly, you can think of the speed of communication. On chip is the fastest. Chip to memory, next fastest. Chip to chip within a server, next fastest. And so you take those units of servers, which are connected, the GPUs are connected on the server with a technology called NVSwitch, and you stitch them together with either InfiniBand or Ethernet into a giant cluster. And each GPU has to be connected to every other GPU and know what they're thinking. They need to be coherent. They need to kind of share memory. For the compute to work, the GPUs need to work together for AI. And no one thought it was possible to connect more than 30,000 of these with today's technology. From public reports, Elon, as he so often does, focused deeply on this, thought about it from first principles, how long it should take, the way it should be done. And he came up with a very, very different way of designing a data center. And he was able to make over 100,000 GPUs coherent.
So this is a very big deal for many reasons. It's not an accident that it is xAI led by Elon Musk, currently with the world's largest AI supercomputer. Because we've just heard it wasn't possible prior to now, at least people thought, to coherently scale up these AI supercomputers beyond a certain point. That wasn't good enough for Musk. So once again, from a first principles point of view, what's possible based on physics? How can we get around this? How can we figure this? How can we scale it up and maintain coherence? The guy's done it again. Embarrassed and disrupted an existing industry, this time AI. Okay? You have to understand, right? Does it with rockets, does it with vehicles, does it with tunneling, does it with brain implants, does it with batteries. I could keep going on. Now, the reason that I'm emphasizing this so much is because so many people today still think Tesla is just a car company. Actually, they don't think. They just emote that Tesla is just a car company, because if they thought, they'd realize it wasn't anyway. And because people aren't super intelligent, at least many of them, they see Tesla, they see their vehicles, they see Waymo currently charging money for Robotaxi rides in a few tiny pockets in the United States and think, that must mean that Waymo has more advanced AI than Tesla, because they're charging money for rides in Robotaxis today, yet Tesla is not. Therefore, Waymo's ahead of Tesla. Plus, I paid a few $1,000s for some autonomy leaderboard from some moron who claimed that Tesla was last in terms of execution and their plans or whatever, right? So therefore, Tesla's definitely behind. There is what is best described as an illusion currently that's tricking people with small brains or very large egos into thinking companies other than Tesla not only are further ahead when it comes to self-driving, that matters, but that Tesla doesn't have a meaningful point of difference or an unassailable data lead, or is inevitably going to take a massive outsized slice of this opportunity. Because Tesla has not yet sought regulatory approval for their robotaxis anywhere, therefore, I can't put that box in my Excel spreadsheet that says currently operating robotaxis equals yes. But what we've seen happen with xAI, who again, this company didn't exist 2 years ago. xAI was founded in March 2023. What we're seeing happen with xAI, driven, no pun intended, by Elon Musk, pushing the world's best and brightest engineers, is providing a look beneath the hood, behind the curtain, some insights into what's actually happening at Tesla. So ChatGPT initially released in 2022, in November, months before xAI, the company, even existed. Yet today, Grok, xAI's large language model, is on par with the latest models of ChatGPT. It's always neck and neck, and someone pulls a bit ahead with an update, and then, right, they're close. This was truly stunning. We've also seen a world record broken for how quickly a gigantic AI training computer was put together under Musk's leadership. And now we've also not only heard, which we already knew, they have the world's largest AI training computer, which itself is insane. But Elon Musk has driven the company, thought about this from first principles, and been able to do something, scale their massive training computer to a level that no one thought possible. In other words, the short story here, the key takeaway, if Elon Musk is leading engineers to do anything, they're going to win. That includes solving autonomy. And specifically around AI, everything xAI have done has been bigger, faster, better, and run circles around the entire industry, which itself is moving at a staggering rate. It's truly embarrassing to be a company like OpenAI and have xAI start up out of almost nowhere and almost instantly catch up to your language model with a fraction of the headcount in a fraction of the time. It's also extremely embarrassing to see a company like xAI break the world record for putting a gigantic AI training computer online, to also build the world's largest training computer, and to have a breakthrough that you didn't think was possible. This stuff directly translates to what's happening at Tesla, but you've got to think a little bit about it. The pace, the speed, the innovation, the first principles thinking. xAI is providing an incredible insight into what Tesla's been doing that everyone's been ignoring and missing. Okay, there is no company on earth that has a comparable product to Tesla's FSD. Not even close. No one's even trying. And we're just around the corner from the robotaxi fleet awakening and scaling massively. So don't sleep on what we're learning here. xAI is an incredible window into what's been happening at Tesla that most people ignore. I'm just kidding. By the way, Cruise and Waymo are definitely ahead of Tesla. Also, Tesla should definitely be using LiDAR. And besides, like, if Tesla's AI robotaxi fleet does awaken one day, all the so-called competition can just press the magic catch up to Tesla button, and then they'll have caught up to Tesla, because that's what some money managers seem to think is going to occur, and they wear suits and appear in the finance media, so they must be right. Anyway, back to the clip.
No one thought it was possible. if I was a last minute ad for this, but I would have said there were all these articles that were being published in the summer saying that no one believed he was going to be able to do it. It was hype. It was, ridiculousness. And that was coming. The reason the reporters felt comfortable writing those silly stories is because engineers at Meta and Google and other firms were saying, we can't do it. There's no way he can do it. He did.
Well, imagine that. The arrogance to think that betting against Elon will ever work out. Amazingly, some of the engineers are relatively smart working at these companies, just essentially saying, it's not possible. It's impossible. We can't do it. Therefore, he can't do it. This is what happens when there's a massive gap in terms of standard deviations between you and Musk, and you don't realize, and then you just project your capabilities and limitations onto Elon. Time after time after time, he's proven the haters wrong, the doubters wrong. And it's pretty hilarious that media contacting people working at so-called competitors, well, is this possible? And they say, no, because I couldn't do it. So then they go write the article, well, Elon will fail. This isn't possible because the experts told me. Wait, when have we heard that story before? Experts doubting Musk?
Did it. And I think the world really only believed it when, Jensen did that podcast, I think with, wasn't it with Gerstner?
It might have been with Gerstner.
Yeah, I think it was with Gerstner, and said what Elon did was superhuman. No one else could have done it. And I actually think you can argue that Elon doing that in a lot of ways kind of saved NVIDIA from a tough 6-month period when Blackwell was delayed, because everyone who was waiting for Blackwell and thought it was impossible to make 100,000 hoppers coherent rushed out and bought a lot of hoppers to try and do it themselves. Now, we will see if someone else is able to do it. It was really, really hard. No one else thought it was possible. And as a result of that, Grok 3 is in trading now on this giant Colossus supercomputer, the biggest in the world, 100,000 GPUs.
In Memphis. At the old Electrolux factory. And they're putting a lot of energy in there, a lot of natural gas, a lot of...
Yeah, a dingy Electrolux factory.
Yeah.
With a lot of megapacks around it. And the city of Memphis is all in on supporting this.
Yeah.
Which is obviously smart for them. But you have not had a real test of scaling laws for training, arguably since GPT-4. And this will be the first test. And if scaling laws for training hold, Grok 3 should be a significant advance in the state of the art. That is an immensely, from like a Bayesian way to look at the world, that is like an immensely important data point. But if that card doesn't work, and I think it is going to work, I think Grok 3 is going to be really good. I should note that I am...
What with consumers... you're involved.
My firm is an
XAI.
investor in XAI.
Got it. Yeah, they've raised a tremendous amount of capital, a lot of it from the Middle East, and they're supposedly going to build Colossus to 1 million GPUs, is the stated goal, 10 times bigger than it is currently. There's been some debate back and forth, Freeberg, about, hey, are we hitting a wall here? Maybe you could explain the wall, either of you, to the audience. Yeah,
David?
Well, I'll let Gavin speak to the wall. I mean, Gavin, I think one of the questions also is, do we see an evolution if the kind of increment in performance relative to the investment in net kind of training compute resources declines? Do we start to see a shift in how the architecture of the systems are run? Meaning, like, do we start to build models of models, and that starts to resolve a higher level architecture that unlocks new performative capabilities? So
I would just say we're already building models of models. Almost every application startup I'm aware of is chaining models. You start with a cheap model, you check the cheap models work with a more expensive model. Lots of very clever things are being done. Every AI application company has what's called a router, so they can, swap out the underlying model if another one is better for the task at hand. As far as what the wall is, there's been a big debate that we were hitting a wall on these scaling laws, and that scaling laws were breaking down. And I just thought that was deeply silly, because no one had built a cluster bigger than 32,000 H100s, and nobody knew. It was a ridiculous debate, and there were really smart people on both sides. But there's no new data. Grok 3 is the first new data point to support whether or not scaling laws are breaking or holding, because no one else thought you could make 100,000 hoppers coherent. And I think based on public reports, they're going to 200,000 hoppers. And then the next tick is 1 million.
I know I've lost a lot of people with the extremely nerdy detail in today's video, but if you're sticking around, good. You're smart. It really matters. What we've just heard here is no one else thought it was possible, or did they actually think? Then Elon comes along and goes, well, fuck what these people think. What does physics say? Let's draw down to the atoms, work our way up. Is it possible? It is possible. These people are dumb fucks. Let's do it. So in short, XAI out of almost nowhere, doing multiple impossible things in record time relating to AI. Led by the same guy, Elon Musk, who's driving Tesla's AI efforts, who himself, he's regularly described Tesla as the world's leading real-world AI company. Yet everyone says, what are you talking about, you idiot? A few years from now, people are going to look back and say, you know what? All the signs were there. How did we miss it? How did we miss what was happening with Tesla autonomy? How did we not truly believe or understand the implications of Tesla's fleet of vehicles almost instantaneously awakening overnight with a software update? How did we doubt Tesla? How did we ever think people claiming that companies like Waymo had a superior self-driving system, a better business model or a comparable business model? How did we ever think they were credible? I think a few years from now, a lot of people are going to wish they had a time machine. I won't explain why. But for the record, I will absolutely not be one of them. In completely unrelated matters, I have spent the last 8+ years buying Tesla stock with every spare cent. I will have zero regrets, and even if I had a time machine, I wouldn't be able to change a thing. Obviously, that has nothing to do with autonomy and people not understanding. I just totally randomly wanted to throw that unrelated thought out there. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail, legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.